Rochester's JCC has been having a great summer concert series, continuing next week with Joan Osborne. I had a chance to speak with her earlier via Zoom. For decades, Joan Osborne has been writing and performing hits like 1995's One of Us. The album, Relish, a smash hit, both earning Osborne Grammy nominations. Next Wednesday, she'll be performing on the Dawn Lipson Canalside stage at the JCC. Joan Osborne, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Is this your first time performing since the start of the pandemic?
No, actually, we've been able to get out and do some shows, with limited success. Sometimes things get canceled with the next wave of contagion, but, we really try to do as much as we can.
Now, okay, so I need to ask you, with something like 10 studio albums, from Political with Trouble and Strife to your very first with Relish, what first inspired you, Joan Osborne, to write and perform?
I think it was discovering the music scene in New York City in the late 80s and early 90s. I had been going to film school at NYU and really did not have any idea that I was going to do music. But someone dared me to go up and sing at a bar, and I did. And I discovered that this particular place had an open mic night once a week, and I started going back. And through that, I met musicians and started going to other places and just discovering this huge music scene that was really vibrant and really interesting. There was a lot of blues, a lot of roots music, a lot of singer-songwriters. People like Jeff Buckley were on the scene at that time. So it was really an amazing and inspiring time, and that's what made me want to be part of it.
Do you recall what song brought you up to the mic that night?
Yes, it was a Billie Holiday song, God Bless the Child, and that was the first song that this piano player and I both knew, so we picked that one.
All right, so we heard some of it at the start of the interview. Take us back, if you can, to 1995, when One of Us was released. Your first studio album met with acclaim. What was that like for you?
Well, of course, it was amazingly gratifying. I mean, I think every artist really wants to create work that has an impact on people. And the fact that that song and the record as a whole did so well and reached so many people, it was incredibly gratifying. I think for me, it was a little awkward because the fame piece of it was not something that I ever really went after, and it wasn't something that I think I was prepared for. But, that was a long time ago. So I really just look back on it with a lot of gratitude that I was able to, be part of something that had such an impact. And I think that's part of the reason I have had such a long career.
A long career, but you are still making music, still making hits decades in. But when you started, the industry, particularly this genre, was largely made up of male musicians. What was that like to kind of break onto the scene at that time?
Well, I think there definitely could have been moments where I could have been discouraged because I wasn't taken seriously because of my gender. But I really felt like I took myself seriously, and I had this sense of mission and just this real sense of joy in doing what I was doing and performing. And I saw that people in the audiences were reacting and responding to me in a positive way. So that gave me a lot of confidence. I think it was really just deciding that I was going to believe in myself and not really listening to anybody else who was going to tell me different, really.
Such talent there. Joan Osborne again at the JCC next week. We will have more of our chat with her in the next hour on Fox Rochester. When we come back, the price of food at the state fair. Some good eats. 8:35 this Friday. Let's get back to our interview now with singer Joan Osborne. You can see her perform this coming Wednesday at JCC.
We're going to put up the full interview.
If I can here, I just want to have a little fun, ask you a couple of rapid-fire questions. The first one, there's no wrong answers, but there really are wrong answers here. The first one, what was your first concert?
My first concert, oh man, it was Bill Monroe in Louisville, Kentucky, which is where I'm from. He was playing an outdoor stage down by the river. And I remember very distinctly, he put down his mandolin and started doing this buck dancing, and everybody in the crowd jumped up and started doing buck dancing too. And it was amazing.
Joan Osborne, favorite album?
Oh, of course.
Doesn't have to be your own. It can be any album.
No, I think, well, it's hard to say just one, but one of my favorites, one of my Desert Island discs would be B.B. King live at Cook County Jail. It's just an incredible performance, and he's singing and playing. He's really at the height of his powers, and the audience is right in the palm of his hand. So it's like you're sitting there without having to be in jail yourself.
Favorite artist of recent years?
I would have to say Allison Russell is one of my favorites. I first, got in touch with her music when she was in this duo called Birds of Chicago. But now she's gone on to have a solo career, and her first solo record came out this year. And she's just really an amazing, soulful, incredible artist. So if you don't know about her, Allison Russell, you should check her out.
Allison Russell coming on the scene. And your favorite song to perform?
It differs from night to night, but I do enjoy still performing the What If God Was One of Us song because, it's a song that whenever we begin it, you can feel and sense the audience reaction and response, and it's a very positive response. And, I think some people could say, oh, aren't you sick of singing that song? But if you have to be known in the wider world for just one song, one that isn't, it's not like a booty party song. It's a song that really is asking some very deep, serious questions. It's not telling you what to think, but it's trying to elicit a response from you. So I think if it's got to be one song, that's a very interesting one song for it to be.
I am so happy you said that. That is one of my all-time favorite songs, and I know that I am not alone in that category. I know I'm not. All right, Joan, for someone who's not, or who knows your music but has never seen you perform live, what can they expect?
Well, they can expect a lot of joy and a lot of soulfulness. We are coming to town with a trio that I have worked with for years and years, and these guys are incredible musicians, and they've rearrange these songs in a way to really bring them to life in a live setting, but that's very intimate, but that's also very powerful. So I think you're going to be able to jump up and dance at certain points if you want to, and you're going to be able to be, have some really heartfelt emotions because we try to give 110% every time we come out. And that's what we're there for, is to really allow people to connect with their emotions and to have fun and experience the joy of live music. I think it's important.
It absolutely is. The effect and the impact music can have, especially live music, on an audience second to none, really and truly. Joan Osborne coming to the JCC next week, September 7th at 8 p.m. Tickets are available online. We do have more information on foxrochester.com. Joan Osborne, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. Really a pleasure speaking with you today.
You're so welcome. It's great to see you. Thank you. Thanks for watching the show.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon. We'll be back after this.